Have you ever had a small misunderstanding with someone you care about? Maybe it started with a simple message, a short comment, or a moment when someone looked at you in a strange way. At first, it seemed like nothing important, but later, the situation became uncomfortable. You felt confused, the other person felt upset, and suddenly a small moment turned into a bigger problem. This kind of situation happens more often than we think. Many serious conflicts in life do not begin with big mistakes. They begin with very small misunderstandings. A word is said in the wrong tone. A message is read in the wrong way. Someone assumes something without asking for clarification. When these small moments are not solved early, they can slowly grow into bigger problems. One important reason misunderstandings happen is that people communicate in different ways. Even when two people speak the same language, they may express their thoughts very differently. Some people speak directly and clearly. They say exactly what they think. Other people speak in a softer or more indirect way. They choose words carefully because they do not want to hurt others. Because of these differences, the same sentence can be understood in different ways. For example, imagine a coworker who says, "Maybe you should check that again." The speaker may only want to help. They may think they are giving useful advice, but the listener may understand the message differently. They may feel that their work is being criticized. They may feel that the other person does not trust their ability. The words are simple, but the meaning becomes very different in the listener's mind. Tone also plays an important role in communication. Words are only one part of what we say. Our voice, facial expression, and body language also send messages. When we talk face to face, these signals help people understand our real feelings. A smile can show kindness. A calm voice can show patience. However, many conversations today happen through text messages, emails, or social media. In these situations, people cannot see each other's faces or hear their voices. Because of this, misunderstandings become easier. A short message like, "Okay," can sound calm, cold, or even angry depending on how the reader feels. The reader may imagine a negative tone that was never intended. Our past experiences also affect how we understand situations. Everyone carries memories and emotions from their past. These experiences shape how we interpret other people's behavior. For example, if someone has often been criticized before, they may become very sensitive to comments about their work. Even a small suggestion may feel like strong criticism. In the same way, someone who has felt ignored in the past may feel hurt when a friend does not reply quickly to a message. In reality, the friend may simply be busy or tired, but the person who is waiting for the reply may begin to think something is wrong. They may start to worry that the friendship is changing. This is where assumptions begin to grow. Instead of asking questions, people start creating explanations in their minds. Imagine that you send a message to a friend and they do not reply for many hours. One possible reason is that they are busy with work or family. But the mind often creates other stories. Maybe they are angry. Maybe they do not want to talk anymore. Maybe they do not care about the friendship. These imagined explanations can feel very real, even when they are not true. When people believe these thoughts, their emotions begin to change. They may feel disappointed, hurt, or angry. Because of these feelings, they may respond in a colder or more distant way. When the other person sees this reaction, they may feel confused. They may wonder why the other person is acting strangely. As a result, they may also react in a negative way. Slowly, the misunderstanding grows into a cycle of emotional reactions. Each person believes the other is behaving unfairly, but neither understands the real reason behind the situation. Modern communication has made this problem even more common. In the past, people often spoke face-to-face or talked on the phone. These forms of communication allowed people to hear tone and see expressions. Today, many conversations happen through short messages, comments, or online posts. These methods are fast and convenient, but they also remove many emotional signals. Because of this, people sometimes misunderstand messages very easily. A joke may sound serious. A short answer may sound rude. A delayed reply may feel like rejection. Without clear emotional signals, people often fill the empty space with their own feelings and worries. Another reason misunderstandings become bigger problems is that many people avoid difficult conversations. When they feel confused or hurt, they may decide to stay silent. They think that asking questions might create conflict. They hope the problem will disappear by itself. Unfortunately, silence often makes the situation worse. When people do not talk openly, both sides continue to guess what the other person is thinking. These guesses slowly become stronger beliefs. Over time, people begin to feel certain that their assumptions are correct, even though they may not be true. In close relationships, misunderstandings can grow even faster because people have strong expectations. Friends, partners, and family members often believe that the people close to them should understand their feelings automatically. They think that love or friendship means the other person will always know what they mean. But this expectation is not realistic. Even people who care deeply about each other cannot read minds. Human communication requires clear words and honest conversations. When people expect others to understand without explanation, disappointment often appears. Pride can also make misunderstandings more difficult to solve. When someone feels hurt, they may believe that the other person should be the first to apologize. They wait for the other person to recognize the mistake. But the other person may feel exactly the same way. Both sides wait in silence, each believing they are the one who is treated unfairly. As time passes, the original misunderstanding becomes more complicated. At the beginning, the problem may have been very small, but over time, people begin to connect that moment with other memories and emotions. They start to believe that the situation represents a larger pattern. For example, someone might begin to think, "They never respect my opinion," even if the misunderstanding started from only one conversation. The mind begins to build a bigger story around a small event. Misunderstandings can also affect workplaces. In professional environments, communication is very important for teamwork. A manager may give feedback to help an employee improve their work. But if the message is not communicated carefully, the employee may feel criticized instead of supported. When this happens, the employee may lose motivation. They may become less open to suggestions in the future. At the same time, the manager may feel frustrated because they believe the employee is not accepting feedback. Both sides may feel disappointed, even though the original goal was simply improvement. Friendships are also sensitive to misunderstandings. Friends usually share personal thoughts and feelings with each other. Because of this emotional closeness, words can have a strong impact. A joke that is meant to be playful may accidentally touch a sensitive topic. If the person who feels hurt does not explain their feelings, the other friend may never realize what happened. Family relationships, sometimes contain misunderstandings that last for many years. Families share long histories and strong emotions. When a misunderstanding happens, it can connect to old memories and past conflicts. A small disagreement today may remind someone of situations from many years ago. Because of this, the emotional reaction can become much stronger than the situation itself. However, misunderstandings do not always have to become big problems. In fact, they can become opportunities for better communication. When people choose to talk openly about confusion, they often discover that the situation is not as negative as they first believed. One helpful habit is to ask questions before making conclusions. Instead of thinking, "They are ignoring me," a person can ask, "Is everything okay? I noticed you have not replied yet." This simple question gives the other person a chance to explain their situation. In many cases, the explanation is simple and reasonable. Listening carefully is another important skill. Many misunderstandings happen because people listen only to respond. They focus on preparing their next sentence instead of truly understanding the other person's feelings. Good listening requires patience and attention. It is also helpful to express feelings clearly and calmly. Instead of saying, "You never listened to me," it is better to say, "I felt hurt when I thought my opinion was not heard." This kind of communication focuses on personal feelings instead of blaming the other person. Empathy is also very important. When people try to see the situation from another person's perspective, they often realize that there may be reasons behind the behavior that they did not consider before. A person who seems distant may be dealing with stress. Someone who sounds impatient may simply be tired. Patience also helps solve misunderstandings. Not every problem can be solved immediately. Sometimes emotions need time to calm down before people can have a productive conversation. Taking a short break from a tense situation can prevent words from becoming more harmful. In the end, misunderstandings are a natural part of human communication. Words, tone, emotions, and personal experiences all influence how messages are understood. Because of this complexity, it is normal that people sometimes misunderstand each other. What truly matters is how people respond to these moments. If they choose silence, assumptions, and pride, small misunderstandings can slowly grow into serious conflicts. But if they choose curiosity, honesty, and empathy, those same moments can become opportunities to strengthen relationships. Life is full of conversations, and every conversation carries the possibility of misunderstanding. Yet every conversation also carries the chance for deeper understanding. When people are willing to ask questions, listen carefully, and speak with kindness, many conflicts can disappear before they grow. In this way, the small misunderstandings that once seemed dangerous can become simple reminders of how important clear and caring communication really is.